Well, I think Pendulum moved to London because it is basically the centre of the antiques world. And although for many years I've wanted to come, it's really a financial decision to wait probably 15 years until we had sufficient stock and sufficient resources to be able to move into Mayfair itself. I started collecting clocks when I was a boy of 8, and my father taught me how to restore them. And when I was a director of Pilkingtons and travelling around the world, I could always find relaxation in restoring the clocks. So I would return home and even restore clocks for the local antique dealers for £1 per movement in order to get this therapeutic feeling about restoring clocks. The most expensive clock that we have on show at the moment is a clock made about 1770 by a James Trenjaunt. He actually was clockmaker to the then Prince of Wales, and in 1770 he made a watch for the Prince of Wales. This particular clock is in a mahogany case. It is what's called a domestic regulator clock, so it's a very precise timekeeper, and it is still performing accurate to within 1 second per week. The interesting thing about the clock is that when you wind it, it then runs for 6 months before you need to wind it again. And this is the only clock I've seen that has a striking mechanism on it that runs for more than 3 months. Named after him. Yeah. So he had 31. The grandfather clocks have moons in their arch dials, basically so that you would be able to see where you were going at night, and also if you were robbed by a highwayman you would be able to distinguish his features. So the highway robbers wouldn't generally work from the 12th to the 22nd day of the moon. Recently I had a visitor from the Middle East who was involved in the Gulf War, and we were discussing whether America would invade or not invade Baghdad. He said, "Roy, show me your clock." And I showed him the clock, and he said, "You see where the moon is? So it's 12 days now to the next full moon. So there's 29.5 days in a lunar month, so 12 plus 29.5, that's 42 days' time. That is the day we will invade Baghdad." And he was correct.